This is just supposed to be letting you guys know why we're here. Because are we doing this shit right? I don't know.
Wow, that's going to be the name of episode 1. Ooh, I like that.
Yay. I'm trying to learn not to laugh into the microphone, but I have a hard time doing that.
We're going to be laughing a lot in the microphone.
I know. Okay.
Just warning you. Testing 1 2 3.
Test,
this is
test.
Straight Candid with Syd and Soph.
Straight Candid with Syd and Soph. That might be our intro.
I think it is. And I like when you do the singing one too. Do that one for me.
Straight Candid with Syd and Soph.
The fact that your nostrils flare when you do that. I wish people could see that.
And that's us in a nutshell. Hello, everybody.
Welcome
to our first podcast.
Yeah, this is the very first officially recorded podcast.
We've attempted a few times, but this is the official one. Mm-hmm. Wait, I'm Sydney K. We have to introduce ourselves. Totally.
You're right. And I'm Sophie Van Serksum. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. We're doing it. We're Straight Candid. We are just gonna roll with the punches and do our first podcast and tell you a little bit about who the heck we are, why we're here, and
the intentions of what we're going to plan to do with this podcast. I think first things first is we should probably the reason why we're even doing this podcast is because it was almost effortless because we had the Back Pocket Boys. We got Andrew over here behind the camera.
Andrew and Declan, there are people, there are producers, there are everything. They make this happen. They put things together. They pushed us to be here and we are so thankful for them.
Yep. Before this started, you guys should have seen Andrew running around the room. I've never seen a man move that fast. There's cables everywhere.
Cables around the floor, cables around his arms. He's just running. He's running around. He's a handyman.
So thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'm happy to be here. You guys are about to kill it. The pre-recording was phenomenal and I'm excited for you guys just to have a conversation.
Woo!
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Well, little blurb about Back Pocket while we're on here.
Yeah, let's do it.
That is where Sophie and I did our first podcast.
Yeah.
We were asked to come on the Back Pocket with Andrew and Declan separately and had our little debuts via microphone. Debut. And we loved it. And they loved it, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, Syd loved it. I struggled, I'll be honest.
You sounded good, though. You always think that you don't, but you sounded really good.
Okay, well, I felt like I was struggling, but I think every time we do these podcasts and episodes, it's going to get easier and easier. So I think so, too. I think that's why we're here, too. You know, it's like we're using this to grow a little bit and to kind of just find connections within Minneapolis and ourselves and kind of grow with listeners and audiences. So I think it's going to be a good time.
Exactly.
For sure.
We played around with a few taglines, you guys, but we're going to say our one that we're kind of landing on as of right now.
Yes.
And we're just going to say this now is some things may change along the way and you'll be there with it and changing with us. Mm-hmm. We're just going to align this to what's true to ourselves and what's candid and straight candid to everybody who's listening as well.
Nice one.
I love that.
I caught that.
You got to throw it in.
Yeah.
And so if things change, we'll give you a heads up. But we came up with a tagline: candid conversations about shit you need to know but don't know. Just sorting through day-to-day life, trying to be better, because that's really everything and all that we're doing right here, right now.
Yep. And that tagline did not come simple. I will say, this podcast this is our first episode, but yet I feel like we've been working on this for months because one, we're perfectionists, both of us. We didn't want to start it because we didn't feel ready. We had originally this was called the Peach Pocket Podcast. Gag me with a spoon.
What is that
horrible.
name? First of all, my mom goes, "Yeah, I didn't really like that." I'm like, "Well, you could have told me in the beginning." But
every time I said it out loud, I kind of cringed. So I was like, "What are we doing?"
Here's the thing, though, and truly, don't fit into a mold of what you're not, because we were literally doing exactly what we didn't want to do in the podcast period by trying to fit into this name that was just
Peachy Pockets.
Peach Pocket.
Oh, so cute.
Hey guys, welcome to Peach Pockets with Syd and Soph.
Seriously, it's not right. No. But no, we're finding out who we are along the way. That's the whole point of this.
Yep.
So do you want to go ahead and read out loud our little blurb of our description?
Yeah. So again, like Syd said, our description, our intention with this podcast will probably evolve as we evolve, as the world's evolving. But for now, we have a description. So Straight Candid is hosted by two Minneapolis women who have been known to say it how it is and never sugarcoat the truth. This podcast is here for you to relate to, laugh to, cry along with, and get real life advice about relationships, sex, body expectations, wellness, and navigating your 20s with no expectations other than it's confusing. From perfectionism to overcommitting, quitting your job to jumping into your healthy lifestyle you've been pushing off for years, this podcast keeps things real. Join along as Syd and Soph welcome guests, shoot the shit, and talk real, candid conversations. Boom.
Straight Candid, where you can feel safe to ask the stupid questions.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I ask so many stupid questions.
I love that.
God, that's my life in a statement.
Nutshell.
Seriously. And we've also played around with, okay, so I don't know why we're like, we need a mission statement. We need a tagline. We need a description. What are our values? But okay.
Our goals. Psychos.
Do you want to kind of read a little bit of a mission statement?
Yes, I can do that. Give me 1 second.
I can do that. Also, guys, I'm cracked out on coffee. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, she's been jittery-ish.
I should not have had this much coffee.
Woo, wowzer.
Hey, I'm sweating a little bit. Hey.
Okay. Our mission here. The Straight Candid podcast is here to create a space for honest, humorous, real, and candid conversations to any listener. We are firm believers that in order to discover your authentic self, you need to be candid, open, honest, and be curious in your own unknown. That's what we mean by answering questions that maybe people don't want to know the true answer to, don't know the true answer to, or don't know who to ask.
Might feel a little awkward.
Yeah. But there are things that we're all experiencing, going through life, doing, experiencing in relationships, experiencing in sex, experiencing with food insecurities and day-to-day life of like work. Like I literally have worked right up until these two came over, and I've asked myself a million questions throughout work. Like, am I doing this right? Am I supposed to be doing more? Like just things like we need to talk about, but nobody talks about.
It's almost like a bit of a therapy session. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's like,
it totally is.
For me to kind of verbalize like what I'm thinking in my head with you, even just sitting on this couch, and for other people to listen to, it's honestly like, I'm learning as I'm going, and it's just like nice to kind of talk about it. So why not have other people just listen along if they want to? And
eventually we'll reach out and we'll say, hey, does anybody want to ask a question to us? Or is there anybody that's dying to come on here and chat it up real with us? It doesn't have to be some like educated person with an MBA that comes on our podcast. These are for real people, like having real life conversation. That's truly what it is. And episode 1 that we're doing right now, it's going to be a little more informative. We're just telling you guys why the heck we're here and what we're doing. Episode 2 and 3 are going to be strictly about Soph and myself. So we can you get lay the foreground of who the heck is talking to you, what the heck we're going to talk about. And then from there, we'll run it and we'll just talk.
Some ideas, like for example, I've talked with a few potential guests that we might have on. So the goal here is, I think like every other episode, we should have a guest on. And then some episodes is just going to be me and you shooting the shit, talking about some things. And ideas for like some guests. For example, we have Antonio Sundquist, I spoke to yesterday. He is really big into meditation. He knows a lot about mental health. I think it'd be great to have him on eventually.
And he's local. And it's just interesting that he's local. And and also to hear his story of how did he come into doing things that he loves to do in a small, smaller community. Minneapolis isn't small, but you're not in New York. And without knowing how to like grow your presence, like let's just hear from him.
Exactly. And then another guest I think I'm really excited to have on is Molly Hale.
Yes.
She was actually originally going to be on the podcast.
She was a part of that Peach
part of the
podcast.
Peach Pod. Whoa. Because she is one of the most interesting characters I've ever met. She is married, and she's going to talk a little bit about how she has evolved in her sexuality, and probably some sex tips. I know Molly loves some sex tips.
She does.
We're going to have her on eventually, and some other ideas: dating, eating disorders, living up to body expectations, how to find balance. Syd and I both are pretty passionate about health and fitness, so I think that's going to be probably a point of topics for sure.
It's actually how we met, but I'll talk about that after Soph runs through the list.
Navigating careers, family dynamics, LGBTQ community, maybe a little bit of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think when it comes to issues outside of ourselves, those are the times that we want guests on to speak, and we're here to listen
and
learn. So those are just some ideas. Any other topics you can think of right now? you're thinking of? I don't know.
Navigating the career, family dynamics.
Is this normal? That was a good one.
Yeah, I love that one. It's like we can just have people shout out stuff to us via social media. It can be anonymous too, but like to ask a question, is this normal? Like, because God forbid, I'm going to probably say I have no idea, and we'll talk about it. And we'll get
it'll be so fun.
An opinion. Pumped. Exactly. But a little blurb about Soph and I. We met at Alter. Plug Alter. She was a coach there. And I'm actually a coach now there, but I wasn't at the time. But we met there. We saw each other behind the desk a few times. She passed. I signed her in. I go, Sophie, you're spot number 2.
Actually, I'm usually spot number 14. Thank you.
I don't care. I would put you in the front row if I could. Anyway, but we just like, I don't even know. We personalities
right away.
It just makes sense.
I actually remember, I haven't told you this. Like, so I was actually front desk yet, not coaching yet. And you hadn't been working there yet. Oh. You would come in, I think you were in some sort of internship.
Oh my God, yeah, next door at Fallon.
It is, I'm laughing because it's literally shit. It's literally Syd in a nutshell, because you would be like, your eyes were like wide. You could tell you just had some coffee. Like it was like 5 a.m. and you were running from your internship to quick get a workout in. And I could tell you were just so busy. And I just wanted to I wanted to like pet your hair. Like just like, all right, take a breath.
But it has to rail it. Oh my God. Rail it in? Wait, what?
You want me to rail you?
No. How do you say it?
Reel it in.
Reel it in. Whoa. Do you ever do that? Where you forget a word?
I kind of like rail. Okay. All right, Sophie, let's rail.
Alrighty. But anyway, we connected and no, seriously. we connected and we actually both separately went on the podcast, on the Back Pocket podcast, and we just, I don't know, we like to say too much, and we like to give our opinions, and we don't always think we're right, and we will admit when we're wrong.
I always think I'm right. Sorry.
No. And I don't know. We just have fun. We can be a voice for people who maybe don't have a voice or aren't able to share their voice, and that's kind of why we're here. So, why don't we talk about no-go topics right now?
That's a good call. This is also, I guess, this first episode a little bit about, we're kind of still working through some things. I think for our podcast. So we do have to have some boundaries, because we don't want to be necessarily, and everyone knows, or most people know, call her daddy.
Yep. I mean, it's a good podcast. It's cool. They've got really good content that a lot of people wouldn't be willing to share, me included, though. So I'm excited and I love to listen to them, but there's extent to what we talk about.
Yes.
And what we're comfortable with.
I will say we don't want to be like raunchy, but I feel pretty comfortable talking about all types of things that Call Her Daddy talks about. I just maybe not in the manner that they talk about.
That's exactly what we're going for.
Yeah. So like there will be some fun sexual topics that, it's probably going to be pretty fun to listen to. Not going to lie, but we're also not going to like degrade women and
it's not going to be so nasty. That's the word I'm going to use. It's not going to be so nasty and so aggressive.
You can be nasty.
Who cares? You can go do your thing.
Get nasty.
Support, but sister, I got a brand. You know what I'm saying?
We got a brand. We got to hold up to that.
I know. I'm like, I don't make the big bucks yet. I can't be saying that stuff.
Okay. Along these lines, Syd, what are some of your no-go topics like that you do not want to talk about? If I ask you questions, you don't have to answer. What's a no-go topic?
So I don't have many, but my one is Jordan. He's my boyfriend right now. Yes, boyfriend. He's got his own thing going. I just want to keep it real with him and keep it real with myself and just not bring that current into it, because that can get a little dicey. Let's say I bring up something that we're fighting about, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's it's in the public eye and he has no idea that I'm talking about it to people. He's a great guy. I'm sure I'll talk about him about dates and random stuff and things that are going well and give you little teeny blurps about it. But that one's going to kind of be off the table. As far as my exes go, sorry, sisters.
About sexual relations with Jordan?
I will not.
Okay.
But my exes are free reign, so.
Okay, there we go. I'll make sure I'll get a list of your exes so I can really ask the question. Is it a big list?
No, actually, it's not that big. No,
are you that wild? Are you a relationship girl?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought so.
I know, and I'm creepy independent. Like I'm so independent.
You are.
I wouldn't have to talk to anybody for like days, weeks.
Same.
Honestly,
you're
the same way though. But I don't know. I like having a best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
gender,
hi,
right?
but it's fine.
I know. I'm sorry,
Jordan. You replaced me.
Soph actually hooked us up together. So it's kind of a funny story, but now she's
just
all
call me matchmaker.
So what are your no-go topics? Because that's my only one.
We did write these down. Let me look. Let me look at my list here. No-go topics.
Weird.
There's nothing. Blank.
I wanted you to say that.
There is nothing there. I'm open to talk about anything. I do not have a boyfriend right now. I am dating.
Single.
Yeah, I am dating. You know, there's definitely like things that I maybe won't get like very detailed about in a raunchy way, but in a more educational way when it comes to sexual relations. I'm willing to share, willing to listen, and there's not many no-go topics. Originally, I was like, maybe we shouldn't talk about politics.
I know that was,
but I think maybe it's like extra important to
talk about it.
I
think so too.
Those uncomfortable topics, we probably will have a guest maybe, because I honestly feel like I'm not adequate enough to speak to it.
I'm not a subject matter expert in the political area.
No.
I know one thing, and I'm not going to say it right now because I'm going to save it for the podcast when it comes around. And elections coming up, you guys. If you don't effing vote, I will come and find you.
Yeah, register.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to threaten you. I'm serious. I'm not a threatener, but please, for the love of God, vote. Like we're literally the generation that needs to get out there and vote in order to make a change. If you want to make a change, you better do it for everybody and yourself. Anyway,
moving on. Political talk. Not for this episode.
But promises to you guys. We're confident in not knowing what we're doing. Sorry, I stumbled on that, but we're confident in not knowing what we're doing. Because we're not sitting here like we know what the hell we're doing, because we don't. No. We don't at all. We're confident that we will give you our whole, true, honest selves in the areas that we're willing to share.
Yeah.
And we're also confident that at times we're going to be wrong and we'll address it. We won't ignore it and we'll learn from it.
Exactly.
So at times we might say something that is wrong, but we will correct ourselves, and we also need people to hold us accountable, because we're here to learn alongside you guys. That's what we promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think along those lines too. So Syd, can I ask you, I know we've done a ton of brainstorming ideas for this podcast, and we kind of filled out a few different questions. So can I ask you, like, why do you want to do this podcast? Like, what's your intention? What do you want to get out of it, really?
I know. God, it's a loaded question. And when I asked you, I didn't feel like it was a loaded question. But
I know. But then when you're answering it, it's like, oh God.
My hands are clammy. No, seriously. I just want to have a platform for our voices to get heard, other people's voices to get heard, be a leader in that area, and let other people speak through us speak for them, and open it up for other people to be heard. Yeah. Not only that, but I want people to have their questions answered. I think I went through a quick adulthood, I got mature pretty fast. I would say
you are very mature.
Thank you. But I had a lot of questions along the way that I could have used help with, and I had nobody to ask. I had nobody that I could trust, and we're here to be trusted, and you guys can ask us, and you can come to us and say, I don't know anything about being 23 and living in Minneapolis. Am I X? Am I whatever? Am I safe? Am I whatever? What do you, it's just, there's questions that nobody can answer unless they've lived through it or they have someone to look to. And I want to be that outlet for people, a leader in that outlet. And
would you also say maybe like almost like an out for someone who like to maybe even mindlessly listen sometimes for like a humorous episode, but then we'll also have those episodes where people were like, oh, I didn't know you could, that's a great first dating tip, blah, blah, blah. But we'd also have episodes that are like, you know what? I want to just listen to Syd and Soph, shoot the shit, we'll have some fun.
Plenty of that.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we're on the same page.
I know I was going to say, we are. And it's like, we'll have stuff to offer just in between shooting the shit and things that maybe we don't even realize are helpful.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
This is not, let me correct myself. This is not in the list of educational podcasts. This is in the list of entertainment podcasts. And it is for you to be entertained, but also to get something out of it, right? Like we have so many things we want to share, like that we've spoken to. So now that I've answered that, and I'm sure it'll change over time.
Look at that transition.
And Soph, why do you want to do this podcast?
I did answer this one as well, and it did feel like a loaded question.
It does.
Personally, I do feel like I've hit a point in my life where like I'm a little bit stalled. I feel like I haven't been growing in maybe my career, who I am as a person, as my identity. I do feel like there's something more that I'm meant to kind of give to this world. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I do feel like this podcast could be, like I said, like a type of therapy for myself, seriously. But also like it's helping me grow. It's helping me learn to speak. Like one of my biggest like fears is honestly like I'm not a great speaker. Like it's hard for me to verbalize always what I'm thinking in my head. Sometimes I feel like I think like millions and millions of thoughts and I say one thing out loud and it's just like it just doesn't sound right. So I think it'll kind of help me grow in that aspect, but also just in my identity, talk through life, emotions, and hear experiences of others and kind of help, figure shit out.
Yeah, literally. It's about figuring shit out. Yeah. That's all it is. I love that.
Yeah. So
I like that you're admitting that you're learning along the way, because that's the whole point of this. Exactly. That's the whole point of why we're here. We have no idea what we're doing. I kid you not. Like, I'm 23 years old. You think I know what's going on this freaking planet?
Nope.
No.
Just quit my job. So what am I doing? I don't know.
I like it. Literally the other day.
Yesterday was my last day.
I know.
So
oh God, I'm proud of you.
Shit's about to get real.
She needed that time, so she got that time.
Yes.
Well, so question then.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this loaded question?
Oh God. Yeah. Let's go.
What defines you as a person then? Because you're talking about all the
pieces.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But you're talking about all the pieces that you want to do and what this means to you, basically, why you're here. Like what defines you? Yeah.
So I guess when you ask this question, like my heart kind of sinks, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm here and doing this podcast. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I think being in your 20s is kind of still figuring out who you are. And it's hard. Like every year I do feel like I'm a completely new person. Like if you think back to a year ago,
oh my God,
and your values and like who you were, it changes so fast in a year in your 20s.
It's crazy.
Like think of like your likes, your dislikes, and your values and what you liked and how you lived your life day to day. It's just so different every year. So this decade, I guess, in your 20s is for growth, and some things that I guess I do know about myself at the moment, but it could change. It will change. I will evolve probably throughout the next episode. But I do have a passion to make like outsiders feel welcome and comfortable.
I love that.
You're very similar. It's probably why we clicked, because we're like very good making friends and making sure people feel comfortable.
I like to like connect with people on that level, and you're really good at it. I've seen you do it to other people. Like, oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God. Hi.
Her voice does get high when she does it too.
I do. I need to stop. I do love making people feel good. And if I had one wish in the world, it'd be to rid everyone of their insecurities. Being human is imperfect.
It is.
I'm very anxiety ridden, especially when I drink coffee. This is not just like, oh, I have a little anxiety, like I had a little coffee. This is like diagnosed anxiety. I'm a perfectionist. But I am very, very self-motivated.
You are.
Being active is a huge part of who I am. I enjoy leading. I'm confident. I'm opinionated for sure. And I can find ways to relate to anyone. So
I love that. I love all those. Can I point something out though before you even ask me a question? Hold that thought. You said that you want to rid people of their insecurities.
Yeah.
But you have an insecurity of speaking.
Yeah.
And you know that you're not a bad speaker. I know you don't know it, but you deep down you know that you're not.
I will have to say I have to be on.
Yeah.
Like
I get that.
There's times where I'm like speaking and I like almost self-sabotage it. I'm like,
no, I know.
Oh, I'm doing well. And then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, where'd my brain go? It's out the window.
I get what you're saying. Someone asks you a question, you're like,
yeah.
Was that in English or was literally, you have no idea.
And I guess it really does depend on like the topic at hand. Like if it's about health and fitness, health and wellness, oh hell yeah, I could speak on that forever, because I love that. I'm passionate about it. I'm like educated on it, etc. But if it comes to something I'm not necessarily comfortable with, it's a little more difficult.
I can see that though. Human. So, you're human.
And I have plenty more insecurities too. Like, are you kidding me?
If I wrote them down, you'd be like, sister, get some help.
Exactly. Like we all have that. And I think for me, there's something like rewarding about making other people feel good about that kind of thing. So
I know
it's even though I have it, you know.
No, I get it. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm blanking on the lady that I saw on Instagram, but she posts a lot of like squeezing the butt cheeks.
I've
reposted her.
You sent this to me. I follow her now.
Yeah, she's amazing. Okay. She's a model and she's
gorgeous.
I believe she's from London. I might not be correct in that, but long story short, we idolize her and she's got crazy insecurities too, and she talks about it too. It's like we see all these people that we idolize and they have insecurities like right in our face, and they're literally saying, I don't think I'm perfect, I have issues too, and we still don't like let that sink into our brains of like, oh, everybody feels that.
We'll have to get her name because it is insane, because she is beautiful. She is, but then like she'll do like a side by side, like posing, you know, with her cute ass cheeks in the air, and then next to it is her like squeezing, you know, you see the cellulite and the dimples, and it's like even these models that you really look up to, you're like, oh my god, it's totally fine. Everyone has little things.
Can't compare yourself to anybody else because you're not that person. Thank you. Next,
definitely one of the episodes we'll talk about this stuff, because this is like something
a loaded topic,
very passionate about. Okay, Syd, let me ask you then, who are you? How would you describe yourself?
Oh god, this one is loaded. I literally asked her and I'm like, oh, I think I know this.
You asked me, you get it back.
I know, I get it. I wrote down a little blurb of a few things that kind of came to mind when I think of who I am and who I want to be also, because I think of who you are, it also is who are you like striving to be, because these are all things I believe I am but need to be better at. Independent, drive, being true to who I am, standing up for what's right, being right but also knowing when to be quiet, speaking out for those who can't, being willing to help anyone and everyone, wanting to be there for those who need it, wanting to build a life for myself independently, overcommitting, anxiety, also diagnosed. I'll admit it and I'll say it out loud and scream it to the world. And I say fitness because that's a huge part of my life now too, but it's honestly because I want to feel good. I don't do it for what I want to look like in the mirror, and that's what's flipped a few years back. Okay, which will be something else I want to talk about in another podcast.
I would love to dive into that more.
Yeah, I think when I think about who I am, it's aligning to be better internally too. It's just I want to do things to make my insides happy, to make my brain happy before I make the outside happy of like what I look like, what I do. So
we both do deal with anxiety.
Yeah. A lot.
Can I ask, like, I know you've showed me like a book that you read that kind of help with like, you know, tell me about that a little bit. And are you on medication for anxiety?
You can't ask that.
Can I not? No, it wasn't on your it wasn't on your no-go topic, so I'm asking.
Weirdly, I even get weird taking Advil.
Okay.
I don't love taking medication, so no. I have been prescribed them, yes. I've never taken them, nor do I own them.
Okay.
I think even just having them in my pocket, knowing that they're there, makes me feel better. So no, I don't have them, and I don't have them here. So
we'll have to talk to Antonio about like SSRIs for anxiety, depression, because I am on an SSRI for anxiety.
I was ask if you were.
Yeah, and it has changed my life. And
really?
I think like there's a lot of stigma behind it, and I think that Antonio will probably have some things to say about it too. I think he's more of a natural way to go about, you know, helping with anxiety, but I've tried it all. And
have you tried ashwagandha root?
Is that
ashwagandha?
Is that weed?
No, it's a root, and you can order it off Amazon.
Because I mean, like, yeah, I've tried weed. Just kidding. No,
I did therapy, and that helped too. Do you do therapy?
With you?
I know that's different, sister. Go to someone with a degree. I have a degree, just not in that. Okay.
I didn't realize you didn't go to college. Sorry.
But no, I try ashwagandha root. I said that right. Yeah. Lavender on my pillow. I'll talk about all these like things that I mixed into my life on a different episode too, but it's just like I finally stopped being ignorant and started listening to the people that are saying these things work. I am telling you right now. And I think the one thing that made me wake up with anxiety was like, someone told me, my doctor's like, even pills are a temporary fix. And that freaked me out. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm not doing it. I'm not getting on the pills. I'm going to do a long-term fix, even if it's harder. XYZ.
See, I disagree.
Hey, no, it's all opinion based. I don't know if that's true.
Because like I would say anxiety, depression maybe runs in my family, and I believe there's literally a chemical deficiency, and it's like if you're not sleeping, like
you're gonna
something
go insane.
Yeah, and I've gone off before.
I was gonna say, have you had issues with that?
Well, we'll make this an entire podcast.
Yeah, but like
But yeah, I've had issues sleeping. I've had issues. Speaking of anxiety, I should not be drinking caffeine.
I was gonna say, you're tossing that shit back.
Here I am, just.
You should see her with her straw right now. That shouldn't be legal.
I tried to make that like this noise.
Oh yeah.
I just inhaled an ice cube.
You've got issues.
Moving on.
Anyway,
that'll be an episode because I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about it.
I want to talk about that too. I like that you're open about it too. The book she was referring to, just quick.
Oh yeah.
It is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff Because Everything's the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. I always forget his name. I'm looking at the book over my shoulder. And there it is.
I never knew that was the title. Yeah. I like that.
It's amazing. I read one blurb every single day. We'll talk about it later, but it's literally moved mountains in my life, and I'm going to read it again and probably again and continue it as a pattern over the next years because every single page is a brand new idea.
We should read a blurb like every episode. I feel like a lot of people deal with anxiety. I don't know.
Are we allowed to do that? Is that copyright? No, it's not? Oh, then we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that.
Can you say the title with a little more meaning behind it? Because it was deep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Don't sweat the small stuff because everything's the small stuff.
Oh, wow.
God, that's good. Because it really is. And once I started looking at everything, because I'm easily overwhelmed, yet I put my plate way too full, and I know you're the exact same way.
Similar.
It's like, why get mad over the small things? I don't understand. I mean, I used to be an angry person, trust me, and there's reasons why. I used to be not angry, but I'd hold things in until they explode. Oh. Exhibit A, when I had my ex and I found out he cheated. Oh yeah, that was a situation. Let's just put it that way. But I would have been
an angry woman.
I moved to Arizona, for God's sakes.
Oh my God, I hate him.
So anyway, he's actually a good person. I know, and I know it sounds crazy.
No.
But guess what? I chose to forgive, and I feel goddamn good because I don't have to carry it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's true. We don't like cheaters.
Let's just put it that way.
We're not the call her daddy that says, what do they cheat or be cheated on? Isn't that horrible?
That's bad.
Right?
I didn't hear that part of that.
That's messed up. Yeah, Andrew's shaking his head.
He's like,
that's sister. Horrible.
Can we just say Andrew is one of the best people I've ever met? Okay.
You guys. Yeah.
We had a powwow.
Can I also... I know.
Are you going to talk about that?
And I videotaped Andrew just before this podcast started of you. He doesn't even know this right now. Of you, I think, showing him the video you just took. And he laughs. Andrew has one of the cutest. I'm flirting with you, I think. Andrew has one of the cutest laughs I've ever heard. So listen to their podcast because his laugh is adorable. Can you laugh?
It's so cute.
No, he can't laugh.
He's like, I can't. No,
it has to be natural. We'll get you. Don't you worry.
We'll get you, dog.
We'll get you to laugh for everyone.
I'm just trying to think of what we haven't covered in the kind of like, what the hell are we doing?
Oh, I have something.
Oh, what?
So I also think that we're going to try to keep our podcasts around like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yep.
Just because we're going to keep it concise, short, fun, uplifting. You know, people can listen really quick on a walk or something.
Yeah, or in the car.
So speaking of time, I think this first podcast is, how long are we at? What are we at?
32 minutes right now.
I think this first one might be a little shorter too, because like we haven't really planned much out really. We just kind of wanted to give you guys like our intentions and
this one was supposed to be light, and by the way, if you're kind of like coming in and out of this podcast and you're listening, this is just supposed to be letting you guys know why we're here, because are we doing this shit right? I don't know.
Wow, that's gonna be the name of episode 1. Ooh, I like that.
I like that too.
Are we doing this shit right?
Are we?
I don't know. We should have had like a fun game plan.
Don't answer that question. Don't answer it.
As we talk over each other.
Exactly. My bad. Oops, sorry guys. I know. Sorry about that. We'll be better about it. It's just it's taking a little bit to get used to. What's being
like
on mic.
What's like a fun question we could ask right now? Just kind of give people a little like.
Okay. Do you have anything about you that nobody would know, but like it's either something special that you can do or like a trick or a talent?
Oh, I have a quirk is really, really strange.
Okay, love it.
This is gonna be really weird. People are gonna think I'm so strange.
Oh God,
so you better also say something that's okay.
If I can think of something.
Okay, so when I am like by myself at my house in the morning, if I'm not out in public, You're like, what is she gonna say?
I'm scared.
I like to drink my coffee with a spoon.
What?
I eat it like soup.
What are you doing?
I think I can taste it better.
That's so random. I thought you were going to say you're like naked on the deck or some shit.
Well, that too.
Okay, well, sister. But with a spoon, that takes forever.
Every morning I eat my coffee naked on. Just kidding.
Oh, I'm like, what?
No, I do. I don't know. I like to have a big mug and I like to sip it out of a spoon.
Okay.
That's all I got for you. I'm sorry.
Is it
kind of lame.
I don't know. Is it weird?
Yeah.
It's a liquid, I guess.
It's,
I'm trying to support you right now.
I know.
I was going to say more so like when I'm alone, if I like
yours is going to be really deep and like,
no,
okay,
it's not.
Go ahead.
If I'm thinking about a conversation that I had with someone prior, even if it's the lady at Starbucks and I said something awkward and I was kind of like, sorry, I meant vanilla, and I like said it weird, and it's like repeating in my head over and over again, almost like when you're high.
Yes.
I don't smoke. No, I actually don't anymore, really. But and then I'm at home and I'll be sitting at my desk like typing, doing something for work, like in a daze, and I'll replay the conversation, yes. But then I'll say what I said out loud, and I'll be like, I said vanilla, like it's, and then I'll like be like, oh my god, I just said that out loud.
Not gonna lie, if you were here and weird. I heard you doing that, I think you had like schizophrenia.
I know, it's not a schizophrenia trait, is it? Help, someone answer. I'm scared now. I'm getting anxiety.
Sid's like in the shower. She's like, sugar-free vanilla. Oh no.
Jesus. But it's nice because Angela, my roommate, we're at my place, by the way, you guys. Angela and Meg are my roommates. Angela talks to herself a lot. She'll be like, I don't know. I run over here. And then I'll be like, what? And she'll be like, what? I'm like, you were just talking to me. You were just talking to me. No, I wasn't. I'm like, never mind. But
is that how she talks?
Sometimes, yeah.
No, never mind.
Just kidding. I love her.
So how many roommates do you have?
I have 2 roommates. Meg is my smallest roommate. We call her Little Meg. Everybody, Meg. Even in my family, all my parents, all my parents call her Little Meg. Let's see, how many are there? 2. Help. Anyway, and then Angela.
I think we're getting a little high or something.
I'm sorry. I've had a lot of caffeine today. So maybe we wrap this up and call it a day on the podcast. Do you have anything else to say?
No,
get off the mic.
Actually, yeah. So next, we'll calm it down. We'll reel it in. We'll rail it back in.
Sorry.
We'll reel it back in. Next episode, I think we're going to do something along the lines of like all about Syd. I'm going to kind of interview you a little bit, and we're going to get to know all about you,
and there'll
more
be some
quirks,
weird questions mixed in, and I won't know the questions beforehand.
I'm gonna do like a rapid fire questioning, so get ready.
Chocolate, socks. I'm just thinking of things I'm gonna yell out like.
But no, I'm excited to hear a little bit more about like your past relationships and kind of what makes you the person you are, because you are really independent and mature for your age. Because you're so young. I'm like the exact same age.
I was gonna say, what are you, 1 year older than me?
How old are you?
30. You guys, I'm not kidding. I've been up since 6 a.m. I've been in meetings up until the minute we started recording this podcast. I
32.
cannot think. I think I am dyslexic at times. I'm not kidding. The doctors always go like, I don't know if you for sure are, but 23. I'm 23, but I said it backwards because I read it backwards in my brain.
I'm crying.
Okay. That's so sweaty. Help. And how old are you? You guys, no more caffeine before we record. That's like period. No questions.
I'm 25.
We're gonna have a laugh attack. All right, we need to wrap this up. Hey guys, thank you for riding along on this entire journey with us, because we have no idea what we're doing and we're excited to bring you along on it. Sophie's still crying in the corner. We're happy to have you guys. Happy to be here. Andrew, pipe in.
Where can they find you? Have you guys created an Instagram?
Yes, we have. Find us at Straight Candid Podcast. That is our Instagram handle. If you've got something to email us already, you go crazy and you email us at straightcandidpodcast@gmail.com. We will get these uploaded. We can't wait to have you as listeners, and we can't wait to hear from you. So don't be quiet and don't be shy.
Thanks for joining along, guys. We'll see you next time at Straight Candid. Can we have an intro? Like a cool little like music thing?
Yeah, you pick the music.
Hell yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
There's no copyright with that.
Cool.
Amazing.
All
Good
right.
things to come. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yay.